My friends bet I couldn't do better than you. I'm just proving them wrong. I didn't know it yet, but that sentence would end everything. Before we get into the story, quick reminder, if you enjoy real-life stories like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Alright, let's get into it. The first crack in our relationship didn't come from a fight. It came from a sigh. 2 weeks before everything blew up, I was sitting on our couch in our apartment in Austin, Texas, finishing up some code for a work deadline. I'm a software engineer, nothing flashy, but I like what I do. I like solving problems. Emma was next to me, scrolling on her phone, her legs stretched across my lap. Then she sighed. Not a normal sigh. The long, dramatic kind. The kind that wants to be noticed. What's up? I asked, still half focused on my laptop. She didn't look at me. It's just. Olivia's boyfriend surprised her with a weekend in Napa, she said, flicking her thumb aggressively. Private vineyard tour. Helicopter ride. The whole thing. She kept scrolling. And Tyler just bought Madison that Prada bag she's been posting about for months. I nodded slowly. That's cool for them, I said carefully. We had a great weekend too. That trail in hill country was awesome. She finally put her phone down and looked at me, not angry. Worse. Pitying. A hike, Ryan, she said softly. We packed sandwiches. She tilted her head, studying me like a project that hadn't turned out right. It's just, different energy. Your vibe is very stable. Very predictable. I should have said something right then. But I'd heard versions of this before. Emma lived in a world of aesthetics, social currency, and being seen as winning. My world was built on reliability, routines, and quiet consistency. I thought we balanced each other. Lately, though, I felt like I was just ballast, necessary to keep her grounded, but heavy enough to resent. Her friends didn't help. Ethan. Brandon. Olivia. Madison. Trust funds. Influencer ambitions. Bottle service confidence. And then there was me, the chill boyfriend. I didn't realize chill was just their polite way of saying boring. That's why the text I got that night made my stomach tighten. Emma, 8:47 p.m. change of plans. Everyone's heading to Skyline. VIP table under Ethan's name. Don't be late, it's wild tonight. Skyline was a rooftop bar downtown, $22 cocktails, velvet ropes, and a door policy designed to make you feel lucky just to exist inside. I'd been there once for a company event. It wasn't my scene. But Emma loved it. She loved the photos. The exclusivity. The feeling of being chosen. I parked my practical sedan 3 blocks away and rode the elevator up, already feeling underdressed in my simple button-down. The bass hit before the doors even opened. Inside was chaos, music, laughter, clinking glasses, phones held high. I scanned the main floor. Empty chairs. Then I saw the VIP section. And that's when my chest went cold. Emma was sitting on Ethan's lap. Black dress. Tight. Confident. Her head thrown back in laughter. Her hand resting casually on his chest. Like it belonged there. I stepped toward the rope. A bouncer blocked me instantly. VIP only, sir. That's my girlfriend, I said. She's right there. He glanced over, then back at me. You're not on the list. Locked out. Literally and figuratively. Emma looked over. Our eyes met. For half a second, I saw surprise. Maybe guilt. Then it vanished. She whispered something to Ethan. He smirked. She slid off his lap and walked toward me like she was walking onto a stage. Ryan, she said loudly, not warmly. You made it. The perfume I bought her for her birthday hit me before her words did. "What's going on?" I asked calmly. She leaned against the velvet rope like a queen addressing a visitor. "Look," she gestured behind her. "This was fun, but it's run its course." Run its course. We shared a lease. A grocery list. A life. She sighed again, this time for her audience. Her friends were watching. Phones out. Waiting. Then she smiled. A smirk I'd never seen before. "My friends bet I couldn't do better than you," she said clearly. "I'm just proving them wrong." Laughter. A raised glass. A toast to my humiliation. Something inside me went completely still. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I said one sentence. "Prove this too." Her smile faltered. "What?" I pulled out my phone. Slowly. Deliberately. The flash went off. Emma mid-shock. Ethan lounging behind her. The VIP rope between us. Perfect context. "Delete that." She screamed. I didn't respond. I turned. And I walked away. The elevator doors closed on her shouting. And for the first time all night, there was silence. Part 2, the message that changed everything. The elevator ride down felt longer than it should have been. No music. No voices. Just the faint hum of machinery and my heartbeat finally catching up. I leaned against the glass wall, phone heavy in my pocket. Everything suddenly made sense. The comments disguised as jokes. The comparisons. The sighs. It wasn't dissatisfaction. It was auditioning. By the time I stepped out onto the quiet Austin Street, the night air felt almost merciful. I didn't rush. I didn't run. I walked back to the parking garage like someone following a checklist. Heartbreak could wait. Right now, there were protocols. I sat in my car without starting it and pulled out my phone. I opened the photo. It was devastatingly clear. The flash had caught everything. Ethan's smug half-smile, Olivia filming from the corner, Madison laughing, and Emma, especially Emma, caught in that split second between cruelty and panic. It told the whole story without a single caption. My thumb hovered over the share button. The angry part of me wanted to post it everywhere. Let the internet do what it does best. But that was her world. Public humiliation. Social currency. Optics. I thought instead of Richard Collins. Emma's father. A self-made man from Plano, Texas. Built a logistics company from nothing. No nonsense. No patience for entitlement. 3 months earlier, over a steak dinner, he'd looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're good for Emma, Ryan. You ground her." I opened my contacts. Scrolled past Emma. Stopped at Richard C. This wasn't revenge. It was a report. I typed carefully. "Mr. Collins, I regret to inform you that Emma ended our relationship tonight. I believe you deserve to see the context in which she chose to do it. I valued your respect. Ryan." I attached the photo. No emojis. No drama. No follow-up. I hit send. The silence afterward felt permanent. I started the car and drove back to the apartment, for the last time. Inside, the place felt like a staged set. The couch where she'd sighed about Napa. The kitchen island where I cooked while she talked about other people's lives. I grabbed an old duffel bag. Laptop. Charger. Passport. Documents. Only practical clothes. I left the shirt she bought me for her parents' anniversary dinner. It felt like a costume now. In the bathroom, I packed my toiletries. My toothbrush stood alone. Hers was still in her purse, at a bar where she'd just proven something. I didn't linger. Before leaving, I did two things. You need to come home. We need to call my dad together. No. Silence. What do you mean no? You ended us last night, I said evenly. This is the consequence. For what? Having fun. We're done, Emma. She screamed. I hung up. Blocked her again. The firewall went back up. An hour later, my friend Daniel texted me. Dude. Heard everything. Are you okay? I will be. For what it's worth, her dad froze everything. Trust fund. Cards. Allowance. All of it. I closed my eyes. Cause and effect. Part 3. When silence became a weapon, the fallout didn't come all at once. It came in waves. And Emma was standing right in the middle of it, alone. Daniel told me later that after I left the rooftop, the table went quiet in a way that scared her. No laughter. No phones. No hype. Just that awkward, suffocating silence when people realize the joke went too far, and they might be standing too close to the blast radius. Emma tried to laugh it off at first. Relax, it was just banter, she said, waving her phone around. Ryan's dramatic. He'll cool off. But then her phone rang. She looked at the screen. And everything changed. Her face drained of color. She stepped away from the table, heels unsteady, answering in a voice that suddenly sounded small. Dad? No one heard what Richard said. But everyone heard Emma. No, wait, Dad, listen, her voice cracked. I didn't mean it like that. She paced. Her hands started shaking. Ethan watched for a minute, expression tightening, not with concern, but calculation. This wasn't fun anymore. This wasn't flirtation. This was liability. Emma hung up and stared at her phone like it had betrayed her. My card just declined, she said, laughing too loudly. That's weird. She tried again. Declined. Again. Declined. She looked up. No one laughed with her this time. That's when Ethan stood up. Hey, he said casually, already grabbing his jacket. I didn't realize this was heavy. He leaned in and kissed her cheek, quick, dismissive. You're great, but I'm not trying to get involved in family stuff. Then he walked away. With another girl. Emma stood there frozen. The same friends who encouraged her bet were suddenly busy checking their phones, avoiding eye contact, pretending not to notice her unraveling. By the time she got home, it was after 3 a.m. That's when the screaming started. The neighbors heard it. The walls heard it. The apartment, the one I'd calmly exited hours earlier, heard everything. Meanwhile, I slept. Not peacefully. But without chaos. The next morning, when I finally reviewed her messages, the escalation was startling. She didn't start with apologies. She started with commands. Call my dad. Fix this. Tell him it was staged. Then bargaining. I'll stop seeing them. I'll post whatever you want. I'll do therapy. Then fear. My allowance is frozen. My cards are shut off. He says I need to learn responsibility. Then rage. You're ruining my life. And finally, pure desperation. Please. I need you. That was the moment I understood something important. She didn't miss me. She missed access. I was never the prize. I was the stabilizer. The shock absorber between her choices and reality. And now I was gone. A few hours later, Daniel sent one more message. You didn't hear this from me, but Richard told her something brutal. He said, you humiliated a man who showed you loyalty. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. He told her she can reapply for financial support in a year, after holding a job for 6 months. I stared at the screen. Emma had never worked a real job in her life. 7 months passed. And then came the final collision. I was laughing when I saw her. Not out loud. Internally. Because the contrast was jarring. I was calm. Grounded. Whole. She looked like someone who hadn't slept properly in months. When Emma walked up to our table, she didn't even acknowledge Claire. That alone told me she hadn't changed. She still believed she was the center of the frame. She spoke fast, like someone afraid the window would close mid-sentence. I messed up, she said. I let people get in my head. I said things I didn't mean. I let the silence stretch. She kept going. My dad thinks I'm irresponsible. He won't listen to me. But he respects you. There it was. The real ask. If he saw us together, just talking, it would help. She reached out slightly. Not touching. Testing. I stood up slowly. Not angry. Not dramatic. Just finished. Emma, I said, voice steady, low, and unmistakably final. You didn't lose me because of what you said. She blinked. You lost me because you said it proudly. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. You turned loyalty into a punchline, I continued. And now you're shocked that the room went quiet. I took Claire's hand. Emma's eyes flicked down. That's when it hit her. This wasn't a phase. This wasn't a rebound. This was replacement. Upgrade. Closure. You don't get access to my life anymore, I said. Not as a boyfriend. Not as a reference. Not as a safety net. Her voice broke. So that's it? Yes. One word. No cruelty. No gloating. Just truth. We walked away. And this time, she didn't follow. She just stood there, watching the version of her life that could have been disappear into the crowd. That night, I slept deeply. No nightmares. No second guessing. Because the real revenge wasn't the photo. It wasn't the fallout. It was this: she would remember me every time she faced a consequence alone. And I would never think of her at all.